A lot has changed since I've been away. Giovanni van Bronckhorst has been sacked by Rangers and former first team coach Mick Beale has taken over. He was obviously here when Steven Gerrard was here and when Gary Mack was here, and you hear from a lot of people that he was sort of one of the masterminds behind, if not the mastermind behind, the 55 title winning campaign, and obviously they went unbeaten as well, and a fantastic defensive record. But look, here we are back at Ibrox. It has been a while for me, obviously not out in Qatar. I might do a video about my thoughts on the World Cup. I could have been there, but I'm not. So if you do want to hear about that, let me know in the comments. I'll make a video about that. However, yeah, there's not been too much club stuff going on. So I've just been resting, recuperating, ready to go again in December, which we're almost in. It is the day before December right now when I'm filming this. Should upload it today or tomorrow. I'm rambling now. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new. I'm going to go and ask Rangers fans what they think about their new manager, Mick Beale. And I mean, we've been here before, haven't we, talking to Rangers fans about new appointments within the management team. Amazingly, in 151 years of Rangers being a club, this is their 18th manager, which is absolutely mad. Some of the longevity of the managers has been incredible. Obviously not so much in recent years, but Bill Struth was here, I think, over 30 years himself. So he's bringing up the numbers there. But I've just thrown up a tweet to ask you guys, the fans who aren't obviously at Ibrox today, what you think about the appointment. So I'm going to read out a few of the best answers a little bit later in this video. Derek, mate, lovely to meet you. Yeah, great to chat.
Good to meet you too.
How would you say, firstly, before we talk about Mick Beale, the last sort of 6 months has gone for Gio and the previous management team?
Pretty poor, to be honest. It's been a weird one, given what he was able to achieve last season. Getting Seville obviously was massive, but domestically, well, the results have spoke for themselves, and it was unsustainable. There was no way he was going to keep his job, in my opinion, and obviously that's what's played out. And was Mick Beale your first choice personally to bring a manager in? There's a few names mentioned, Dyche as well. I kind of went with Dyche initially because to be honest, didn't think Mick Beale would be available, but I'm absolutely delighted that we've ended up getting Mick Beale. He's definitely first choice for me now. So he was at QPR, he turned down Wolves as well, the Premier League team, which shows what he thinks of Rangers as a club, doesn't it? Definitely, aye, absolutely. I think just for listening to his interviews, it's obvious that the club's really got under his skin. He obviously really thoroughly enjoyed his time last year, and I think it comes across as though he feels as though he's got a wee bit of unfinished business, which is all the better for us. It does sound that way. I'm excited. And I listened to his recent interview that he did, I think on Sky Sports, and he spoke about maybe like players wanting to be here. Do you feel like there are players within the squad who contracts are running out, heads are somewhere else, and do you think that he'll like ship them on and bring new players in? I think there'll definitely be there'll be change within the squad. I think there has to be. Obviously you've got to get the backing for the board. I think there are players obviously that are coming up to the end of their contract, but I think you're seeing that across a lot of clubs across the world just now. I think the kind of contract dynamics change slightly in world football. We'll just need to wait and see what the next sort of 6 months brings. Hopefully, I think there may be a few players that will kick on with having him there, maybe with a different style. I think if you're watching the training video on Rangers TV yesterday, it looked a lot kind of more intense. So certainly there was a lot to look forward to, I think, for what came out of that video. And would you have a message for him? I don't imagine he watches my videos, but would you, if you could talk to him right now, would you ask him anything, tell him anything? Just we're 100% behind him. Amazing. Best of luck to him. Neil, big Rangers fan, I take it. Yeah. What were your initial thoughts on the appointment of Mick Beale?
Wasn't really impressive, but give everyone a chance. He knows the players, he knows the club, so hopefully he can get the spirit back around the boys and the boys can start playing. Do you think that was sort of the main decision, was the success he had with Steven Gerrard and Gary McAllister, I think it's mainly because he knows the players, he knows the club. It's a bold choice by the board. But we'll just see how it goes, I guess. We need to get off the ground running and get points on the board. And what do you think his sort of achievements will want to be this season? What will he want to achieve? The league looks like it's probably done. Two cups, we're in the cups. The league's never over until it's over. But it's a big gap. It's a big gap. I think we just need to try and get points back, win the Old Firm games and see where to go from there. Got to win the Old Firm game on the 2nd of January. Bring back some pride, basically. And would you have a message for him if he was to watch this video? What would you say to him? Or if he was standing in front of you now, would you ask him anything? Just give it your best. That's all we ask as Rangers fans. He knows he's a fan from afar. He's been watching us, so just give it your best. That's all we ask. Get the players' belief, and that's all we ask as well. What have you initially thought of the Beale appointment?
I was kind of hoping. I wasn't expecting him, just because I thought he was tied up with QPR. I just wasn't. I didn't have him in my thought process.
Yep.
So I was kind of got my hopes up for Sean Dyche. I know that's maybe kind of expect now, because I know he still wants the Premiership and that, but I kind of had my hopes up for him.
I thought Dyche would have been a good appointment, to be fair.
And I thought he would have been really good for us, and I thought we would have been good for him. So I thought it would have been like a good fit. But I know that Beale has got a lot of the credit for what Gerrard was able to do, having his support. So I'm optimistic about it. But he's not been that impressive at QPR. So but he knows this club. He knows the people here. He knows what's expected of him. So I feel like maybe this is a better fit. And I think by turning down Wolves, I know he's getting some stick for that. I think he kind of knew that this job was going to be coming up, so he was kind of holding out for this. So if we've got somebody who wants to be here, that's always. I don't care if he's inexperienced or whatever. If he wants to be here, that's good. So
let's hope he can make a success of it anyway. And obviously he spoke about being hired by the Europa League finalists and stuff like that. Do you think he sees Rangers as sort of a bigger club than Wolves, even though Wolves got the money, the Premier League status? Do you think he feels like Rangers are bigger?
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, not in like a disrespectful way. I mean, Wolves and teams like that, they're big in the sense that they've got money. I mean, if Rangers and Celtic were able to go down there, things would be much different for Rangers and Celtic. It's because of the limitations of what they can do. They need to be really smart. They need to look for people on free transfers, people who are maybe, you know, they can get like a bargain, like Glenn Kamara, and that is ridiculous the price they got him for. But they need to be smart. So if they've got the right people in, getting the right people in, then I think he'll do good here.
And would you have a message for Michael Beale if you were to speak to him?
I would hope that other people would agree. I can only speak for myself, but I hope that everyone is going to get behind him and give him the spot. I think everyone done that for Gio as well, but like the results here, it's just not been good enough, and the people that have came in haven't been good enough, most of them. So he's got everyone's support, and let's see where he goes with it.
Liam, lovely to meet you. Firstly, what were your thoughts on the last maybe 6 months under Giovanni van Bronckhorst?
It went a wee bit kind of flat, didn't it? After the Euro kind of final, but Scottish Cup and that kind of maybe kept him in a job for a wee bit longer, but it was definitely time for him to go, I think, wasn't it?
And so who were your top picks for manager?
That was my argument with all my pals, that if we're getting rid of him, I don't know, I didn't have him to come in. Mick Beale.
Initial thoughts, what do you reckon?
I don't know, I'm a wee bit underwhelmed. I think we're just maybe used to get Gerrard, Gio. Listen,
they're two big names. They've done a lot as players, whereas you've got somebody who's not played a lot now.
Everybody seems to see he's a brilliant coach, so he was the brains behind everything, so I'll go wait and see.
Yeah, that's what people are saying, that he was the brains behind the 55 league-winning campaign. And would you have a message for him?
Good luck. You're going to need it when he plays, I think. Kick up the arse.
Thank you for watching this video up to this point so far. As I mentioned earlier, I did put up a tweet, so let's read some of the responses to that, shall we? So, Rangers fans, how would you rate the Beale appointment? I want to hear your thoughts. Here we are, right, let's hear some of their thoughts right now. Ross, it's a big risk, but can see why the board went with him. Here we are. Noceros 84, an appointment that I think most fans would have wanted to see happen in the future. Some worries about how soon it came about, which is fair, but the mood around Beale's appointment seems pretty positive nonetheless. Tuffers Grant, friend of the channel there, although he lacks management experience and pedigree, I think it makes sense. The length of contract is the only thing which makes me raise an eyebrow. He knows the majority of the players, has 2 cup competitions to play for, and the league isn't mathematically over. Have a go. Fantastic appointment. Carmichael 55 here has said, every other Saturday podcast, go give them a follow. Good guys, they've said, it is a risk, but a guy that knows the players and the workings of the club whilst also playing attractive football is what we could need going forward. He needs to be back though with transfer budget, as if not, he will just end up like Gio. Let's see if we can find a bit more of a Negative one. Here we go. Peter Kerr, raging, not at Beale as such, but we allowed him to go when Stevie G left, so now we have to pay to get him back after a year. Yeah, fair play. I understand that. And then who have we got down here? Ramsack Balls has said, extremely mixed. Won't really know how I feel until the first few games back. So not just on Twitter, but also the fans that I spoke to outside of Ibrox in real life, it feels like they're a little bit mixed on what to think about Mick Beale. For me, I think personally, I would have chosen Sean Dyche to be Rangers' next manager, but I think it was close between my thoughts between Dyche and Beale. They sacked Gio, and I don't think there was a huge amount of managers out there who were ready to jump in and take the job. But fair play, Mick Beale obviously really, really knows the club, and he's been there for some massive moments. The 55 league winning campaign, he knows what the club means, and I think a lot of the fans also touched on that, how he came back because of how big the club is, and he saw it for how good it can be when the fans and the players and the board are all together and having success, which he will want to bring back. I'm sure there's going to be like no better feeling for him than having his face in the manager's room. Obviously they have a picture of all the different managers who have been there in the past, so he'll want that. He'll want to leave with at least a trophy or two under his belt too, I'm sure. So he knows how big the club is. Let me know in the comment section below how you think he'll get on. Rangers fans, are you happy with the appointment? Would you have chosen someone else? Would you have chosen Sean Dyche? I know there are a few other managers banded about as well. The Bodo Glimt manager, maybe you'd have taken him. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think. Please do hit that like button. Please do subscribe if you're new. Got more videos coming up very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.